We met in October. It was raining, and I didn't have an umbrella. I ducked into a coffee shop, soaked, shivering, and cursing myself for forgetting my coat. He offered me his scarf. I fell in love with that scarf before I fell in love with him. It smelled like cedar and something warm, something safe. That's what he was to me. For a long time. Safe. We dated for a year. Moved in together in 2. Married in 3. Our life was a quiet one. We cooked pasta on Sundays, had friends over on Fridays, argued about what to watch on Netflix. He kissed my forehead every morning. I washed his favorite mug by hand even when the dishwasher was right there. You don't do those things unless you love someone, right? But maybe love doesn't always come with warning signs when it dies. Maybe it just fades, like the scent on a once familiar scarf. The first time I noticed something was wrong, it was subtle. He came home later than usual, said traffic was bad. But when I looked at his location, it said he was downtown. That wasn't on his route home. I didn't say anything. Maybe I didn't want to hear the answer. Maybe I still believed I could explain it away. Then it started happening more. Late nights, quiet phone calls in the other room, business trips that weren't on the calendar, a new cologne I'd never bought him. And then the distance, not physical, worse, emotional. I'd ask how his day was and get a shrug. I'd try to cuddle in bed and he'd roll away. He stopped telling me things, stopped laughing at my jokes, stopped noticing when I cried. But he still wore his ring, still made the bed, still said love you before he left for work, like muscle memory. Sometimes I'd stare at him and wonder, is he still in there? One night, I asked him directly, are you seeing someone else? He looked me dead in the eye and said, of course not. Why would you even ask that? I wanted to believe him. God, I wanted to believe him. But my body knew what my heart wasn't ready to accept. I felt it in my stomach, in my skin, in the way his touch made me flinch instead of melt. So I did something I swore I'd never do. I checked his phone, and there she was. Her name was Erica. She sent him photos, long messages, voice notes that made my stomach twist. They had a playlist, a fucking playlist. Songs I had shown him once, now tied to someone else. There were even receipts, dinners at places we used to go, hotels, plane tickets. They had a life, a separate, hidden life. And I'd been living next to it, thinking we were still whole. I didn't confront him that night. I just lay there, next to him, while he slept. I stared at the ceiling and realized I didn't even know who was lying next to me anymore. The next morning, I packed a bag and left. It took 3 weeks before he called. He cried, said he was sorry, said it meant nothing, said it was a mistake, a lapse, a crisis, said all the right things, and none of them mattered. I didn't scream, didn't sob. I just listened. Because after all this time, I'd run out of emotions. I wasn't angry. I was empty. He begged to meet. So I did. He sat across from me in the same cafe where we first met, as if to remind me of who we used to be. But that scarf, he wasn't wearing it. I don't think he even remembered. I looked into his eyes and saw a stranger, not because he had changed, but because I had. You didn't just cheat on me, I said. You cheated on the life we built, on every memory, every promise, every ordinary Tuesday night we spent believing we were real. He didn't respond. He just sat there, small, ashamed, too late. People think heartbreak is loud. It's not. It's quiet. It's brushing your teeth and suddenly remembering the way he used to hug you from behind. It's hearing a song in the grocery store and realizing it's hers now, not yours. It's folding laundry and wondering why his socks still make you cry. But then slowly the silence changes. It becomes space. Room, air. And in that space, you remember yourself. Not the wife, not the victim. Just you. I started going for walks. Stopped wearing my wedding ring. Stopped waiting for a message that would never heal me. Started therapy. Started breathing again. One day, I passed a couple holding hands. I didn't cry. I didn't feel jealous. I just hoped she was loved the way I hadn't been. It's been a year now. He still texts sometimes. I don't answer. Not out of hate. Out of peace, because I'm not that woman on the couch anymore, reading messages that weren't meant for her. I'm not begging to be chosen. I am the choice now, mine. And maybe one day, I'll love again. But for now, I'm learning to love the quiet, because this time, it's mine.